9, 8.
You're watching
7,
Experience Comic Culture
6,
and Sales.
5,
Streaming live daily to
4,
Facebook, YouTube,
3,
Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
And welcome to Minute to Skim It. It's me and Jay today. I see it. Make 2 and Triple B. And John's in the... Oh, we changed it to Castle again? Yay. Castle's back. It's a reminder to hit share it right now, because this is the show that it doesn't matter if you tell all your friends about, because you're not competing for like, oh, I want to get that book first. This is just where you get info, yo. So hit the share because you can.
Yes, you get. You get info from Miss Jen. You get rambling from me, so it's kind of a win-win.
You don't ramble. What are you talking about? Hey.
Well, I'm gonna ramble today.
Welcome to Nava watching from over at Facebookville,
and to all our folks on Instagram that we might not be able to see.
That's right.
Thanks for being here. All right. Oh wow, me first, and wow.
Surprise!
Wow, totally off guard. Totally off.
Didn't you set the oh, it was Kyle. Oh, Kyle's going.
Sorry. So, Thundercats number 7, still not bored. Still not bored. This just continues to be a banger of a story. And while we spend a page with Chitara and an injured Tigra, jeez. And a page with Panthro and Lion-O. This is a Wily Kit and Wily Cat adventure. Yes. It's very cool. It's very teenage angsty at the beginning of it. Because, this issue sees the 2 cubs disobey Lion-O, with Wily Kit straight up teenager knowing Lion-O. He tells the pair, with Tigra being injured, you got to stay on the grounds. You can't leave. And she's just like, no, you were a cub not even a few weeks ago. So, and he's like, but I'm the Lord of the Thundercats. And she's like, well, okay, you can be the Lord of the Thundercats. We're still going to leave. It's one of those things though, where it's like, we've all seen this show before, stay here for protection. Nah, we're going to go have fun.
Stay in the house, Carl.
And then, looks like we're in a secret cave with a sleeping Mumra. How did we get here? I think I enjoy this book so much because it allows the characters to breathe. Every character feels like they're having their own issue that's dedicated to them. There are some miniseries where I'm like, that absolutely works with 4 issues. And then there's some where I'm like, it's good, but if I just had 1 or 2 more issues, and as long as it helps with the story narrative, it would have just been that much better. So I'm really glad this is an ongoing series. And to be honest, there hasn't been an issue where I'm like, okay, that's kind of meh. No, Declan and team are crushing it. Folks, if you haven't checked out Thundercats, get to your LCS, wherever you get books. Start picking this series up because it is fantastic.
Okay, so there's a bunch of books out that are all tied into the Venom War. I think that if you like anything about the symbiote, you're going to love what's going on. Kind of to set it up for you, both Eddie Brock and Dylan Brock have had kind of these visions of a horrible future that involves if one or the other of them have the Venom symbiote. So they both believe that they need to stop the other one from having the Venom symbiote, but who's having the right vision? Are they both having the right vision? Is it if either of them has the Venom symbiote, the everything is destroyed? Meanwhile, you've got Carnage. We've had a lot of fun with his symbiote recently, in which we no longer have or haven't had him with Cletus for a long time. This gets all kinds of crazy sideways. It involves, I believe this one has what does it come up with? Oh no, that's the other one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a cool one also this week with the Black Widow. So that one's got another cool bent. This one is really Cletus kind of sneaking into other bodies and trying to figure out some stuff that's been going on behind the scenes and testing with anti-symbiote technology or goop. I guess it's not technology, but it's goop, right? But he's really creepy, man. He's always really creepy. He's very, very creepy. And at the end of this one, there is a cool new character that I don't think we've ever met before. He used to work for Alchemax. He basically gets combined. It's not really spoilery because the how it happens is the cool thing about the story. But just know there is a new Carnage on the block. It's very interesting because the person themselves is questionably moral, which is, I guess, what you need from a Carnage.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Oh no, the spooky clowns.
Okay, so I didn't read the other one yet. I definitely want to now, though. It's very well done. Very well done. As you may or may not know, this is an anthology series. This is an anthology series. None of the stories connect in any way. They're just 3 random stories. And all 3 are they're really good. Really good. The first one, it really hits the nail on the head with its creepy delivery. The second one feels kind of like a warning to me. You know, if you ever walk into another room and you forgot why you walked into that room, don't stay in said room, until you figure it out, because, you may lose your mind. And the third one feels like you're waking up from a nightmare, but the real nightmare is just about to begin. Now, tiny spoilers in everything I just said, but cryptic enough to where hopefully you can still enjoy it. Fans of horror, Castle did a short on the first one. And I'm going to tell you, just like he did, go show these folks some love. Pick up this book. I already can't wait for the next one. This was so creepy and so good. Pick this one up, folks, if you're into horror.
By the way, I'm super stoked that we've got longtime watchers of the show and super fans of comic books doing reviews. It means everything because, we all trust each other for what we like. We already know what kind of things Castle likes. So he's going to give real reviews for stuff he likes. He's not going to like it. He's going to say he didn't like it.
Yep.
So thanks, guys, for pitching in and lending your voice to comic books to help people decide what to pick up on Wednesdays. Here's the one I was talking about. More Venom, more. This one, okay, so Black Widow has had this symbiote for a while. You can go back and pick up those early issues from, I think there's actual Black Widow issues that has her first appearance in, I think it's a Venom issue. I have them out front somewhere. I can find them for you. and she's also had a #1 issue with her as this new symbiote plus her. She's given the symbiote a name, so together they call each other venomous. And in single form, I can't even remember what the symbiote's name is. She calls it. It's so cool because when the symbiote moves away from her or on her, it turns into little spiders. It's super creepy. Yeah,
Nope.
it's super creepy.
Nope.
And it has very specific powers that it uses, which is so cool to see her be able to use it in a way that makes sense for what she does, which is spycraft. And in this one, she teams up with Flash Thompson and his Agent Venom symbiote to try to stop a kind of like underground auction for what looks like this, I don't know, it's a vial of stuff that's supposed to actually be able to kill symbiote, which, I mean, I don't know who needs to have that ability. Seems like something a good guy should use, but since so many good guys are using symbiotes nowadays, it could be really bad. Oh, Agent Anti-Venom, I don't know. They don't say it. Stop being all cool and stuff, Kyle.
Well, Agent Venom is generally the black suit with the white spider.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-Venom is usually the white suit with the black spider.
We'll say yes.
I want a statue of Agent Anti-Venom.
He's very dope, by the way. I mean, I love his outfit very much. I liked him better even when it was like the Agent Venom when he was in space. That was way cool. I'm so jealous you got to read this one. I've been talking back and forth with the creator for a long time.
Miss Jen, I would actually love for you to read this one because
I'm gonna read it no matter what. Also, so
yeah. So here's what I'm gonna say right off the bat. The thing that I love most about the show is grabbing things that I wouldn't normally read. Unfortunately, sometimes it's stuff that I'm not going to say I dislike, but things that just they don't feel like they're for me. They're not in my wheelhouse. What I also love is talking about stuff to where if I'm excited about something, somebody will go and check it out. But I also like when people will check stuff out, even if I'm not into it, and they end up enjoying it. That feels like a win-win for me. So here's what I'm going to say about this one. So the Huges, as they're called, they're giants. They awaken like 40 years ago in this story's timeline in Australia, I believe. And there's there's this war that ends up happening. And both sides decide, you know what? Instead of us both just annihilating each other, why don't the Huges keep this part of Australia that they basically destroyed, and all the people leave? So they end up with this sovereign nation that I didn't write down because I couldn't even pretend to know how to pronounce it. But, they leave, and you fast forward, and then you have this Huge who's a detective. Now, the weird thing about Huges is they can speak to each other by telepathy, but they can't really do it with people, but it's also hard for them to talk. So it's kind of broken a little bit, kind of like broken English. And they're using him to help solve this murder from this person who might have schizophrenia because he thinks he's a Huge, but they don't really let you know if he really is or not. It's kind of weird. The book itself to me is it's strange. It was something different, but it missed the mark with me so far. That's not saying that I wouldn't give issue 2 a chance, because I always at least do 2 or 3 issues of something to see if maybe something in there hits with me. But I would be very, very interested in anybody else who's deciding to pick this up once they read it to let me know what they thought. Yeah, Castle, I would say hashtag not that bad. I didn't dislike it, but there was something missing for me personally.
Acromegaly? Never heard of that before. Very interesting.
Acromegaly is a growth on your pituitary gland that causes real life giantism. No, I wasn't tested for it many, many times as a small child when I was giant.
I wonder really hard whether they are actually a huge and or just a runt. Thank you. Oh, okay. Will you bring me a couple of Watership down also for a little bit later? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we're still waiting on our diamond shipment, so I don't actually have any huge with me yet, which makes me mad. Jenny Sparks, oh my gosh. You should just know anything that Tom King writes is just always going to be amazing. He seems to pick characters that a few people might be really knowledgeable about, but most regular readers don't know who the character is. I am the person that has no idea who Jenny Sparks is, but it doesn't matter because Tom King writes such a great story that I'm like, I need to know who Jenny Sparks is now because she's the bomb.com. And also the way he writes his story out is so creative. My mom would hate this book because she does not like it when there's not linear storytelling. She would just lose her mind. So lose her mind. But it's so cool. So every other page is essentially like 1, 2, 3. It's either 4 or 5 layers. Each story is like 4 panels, and then it doesn't tie to each other. You just know at some point the way Tom writes is eventually all those characters are going to be important for the story. And it's very true. They all end up at the same bar in the last couple of pages. So just know, stick with it. All the characters are important. Captain Atom appears to have decided he wants to all go godlike and has shown up on Earth and is creating troubles. He shows up naked at the park. He shows up grabbing people by the throat. He's melting people. I don't understand what his deal is, but Superman is trying to like sense where he is from space. Why isn't he helping? I don't know. And heads up, you get a Batman sighting in this. So if you're a Bat person, this is a good Bat adjacent storyline. And it appears that Jenny has no trouble with toe-to-toe in it to just anybody. She's like Tank Girl. She don't give an F, and she smokes, and she might just like have you over for the night and then kick you out because you're irritating. She's dope, as I said. So if you like real British, like if you're a Judge Dredd fan and you like the way that those go, where it's just like no nonsense, a whole bar, this is really fun to see her just go toe-to-toe with Big Easy. And even if you don't know who Captain Atom is, which I don't know who Captain Atom is either, you'll learn all that stuff too. So you'll be so smart by the end of this book. You'll know some DC stuff you didn't think you wanted to know.
Underrated. And Ship, everybody, thank you for being here. If you like Jenny Sparks in this one, she's a big part of the Authority. So get Warren Ellis's Authority book. It's really good. She's an awesome character.
Because didn't they announce Authority as being something that Gunn's going to be messed around with?
I believe so.
Oh, this is going to be so good. Who would I cast as Jenny Sparks? Oh my, okay.
Jen King. Okay. All right. Ooh, this one's actually next on my list. Awesome.
Yay.
All right. So, again, the Disney Dynamite stuff is just amazing. Just amazing. This one is Comic Books and Aliens Collide. Darkwing is reading a comic while being inside a comic where the comic might actually be real exploits of aliens. Very Inception-ish. It's another super fun issue. These Darkwing Duck books feel, like continuing episodes from the cartoons. And I've been saying for a while that if this is ever rebooted, that this definitely this needs to be the source material. The teams that they have on both not only Darkwing Duck but the Justice Ducks, they just have the heart and the soul of the show. Like reading these books, a lot of people are like, it's a nostalgia thing. And a big part of it is nostalgia. But it's not like they don't understand it. It's not like taking characters that I loved and we're gonna write them in a way where I don't recognize them. These characters are very recognizable, easily recognizable. It is honestly like they decided we're gonna pretend that we're writing scripts for the actual show. I would tell you, if you have not read any of these yet, at least grab an issue of Darkwing Duck, maybe an issue of Justice Ducks, and just they're a ton of fun. They're fun. You don't have to be a huge Darkwing Duck fan either. It's not like you have to have a plethora of knowledge. You can jump right in and enjoy these books. So they're awesome. Please check these out if you haven't yet. Very cool.
I know who would be a good part because we haven't seen her in a while in anything. Do you guys remember Chuck's girlfriend?
Yes.
The TV show Chuck?
Yvonne Strahovski.
She's been in some other stuff since then, but people have kind of largely forgotten about her. But she would be so good. Just have her show up and be like, aha!
Yeah, we're done casting. Miss Jen wins.
No. All right, something crawled out is a wicked cool book. Okay, so thank you, Vault. Vault is continuing to do this awesome program for retailers where they really make it easy for us to have a ton of copies of books they really believe in. So your LCS should have lots of copies of this. Pay attention to how they're offering it to you. I think this week I'm going to offer it to anybody that shows up and picks up their pull box. I'm just going to give it to them. So just pay attention to how, like some retailers are saying they'll give this to you for free if you buy issue number 2, because the idea is to get you into a series and read it past number 1. But this one is, I'm definitely, no matter what, even if I had to pay like twice for this, I would do it because it's my kind of jam. This is a tale of small town, 2 best friends. Meet them first when they're younger, and the one fellow basically introduces his best friend as being the devil. He goes, he can't help it, he just is. And the book opens with them kind of like hanging out on the roof together, and the devil friend, who, by the way, you don't know if they're the devil or not. That's never answered in this book, whether they're just scary. He basically just says, you should, the guy says, I'll jump off the roof. And he says, oh, I'd like to see that. But you never know if that part of the scene is real, because it appears to show the good friend dying, but then it fast forwards to them being 20-something-year-olds and they're still good friends and they're both still alive. So this is about a killer that shows up in this town. He's a very creepy bucket hat, glowy eyes guy. And these 2 people at the bottom, one of which is the devil, both work together at a convenience store when he shows up very scarily. So this one is one of those, it's going to be definitely a mystery to unravel. Is it just that he likes to call him the devil because he just likes to get into trouble? He just imagines him that way. This one is on your list, but you take a free one. Excellent, Justin. I know I'm going to see you this week. So yeah, this one has got really cool art. The art is just like on the cover, by the way.
I was fixing to say that'd be a cover buy for most folks, just the cover alone. Mm-hmm. That is amazing.
Women are disappearing in that town, by the way.
So in the continuing venture of me reading the second series of something, this one does just like the other ones. I didn't read the first series, but when I saw vampire superhero action on the cover and they're wearing lucha masks, I had to jump on this one. As soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to read this one. So this one starts out with 2 of the trio dead and captured in a trunk with bad guys about to dispose, sorry, dispose of, can't read my own writing sometimes, the bodies, until one of the said baddies realizes, is this one filming us? And sure enough, they spring to life because they're vampires. If you can't tell from the teeth on the cover. And just they just demolish these dudes. And they're recording it the whole time so they can upload it later for people to watch. This was a great read, and although there are 3 on the cover, you find out why only 2 were captured. The third one pretty much quit and is using his gifts to become popular at school, like being a basketball player or something. So I need to find the first part of this story. So to me, this issue definitely did its job. If you've never read any of this before, you're going to read this issue and be like, okay, well, now I got to go back and read the first part of this story, because it's very much if you're into subverted expectations, like making something that's supposed to be evil be the good guy, whether it's vampires or werewolves, where those are supposed to be bad. It's hardwired in our brain that those are bad, but they're heroes in this in books. I think you want to check this one out. I really dug it. I want to read the rest of it now.
I like Justin's comment from over on Facebook. Oh no, I'm a vampire. Might as well buy my friends so we can all vamp it up together.
Oh, good.
Love it. Nava's ready. He's got his volume 1. This is you again.
Yeah, this is me again. Hold on. Man. Okay. So this one, very, very unique art style. It's kind of like the cover, but since her face is covered, you can't really see how they do faces in this book. But very unique art style and story concept. It left me with a ton of questions. I'm so ready for issue 2 already. We meet the young girl, this young girl on the cover. She's like waking up in a field, and she starts walking through this field, and out of nowhere, this mask and knife just appear on her. And she freaks out, pulls the mask off, throws it on the ground with the knife, and they like slowly fade away. So the weird thing is, it feels like, and this is very assuming from first issue because I don't know too much more about it, whenever supernatural or maybe harmful things are around her, this stuff just pops on her, because it happens a couple more times through the story. Like she sees a family dog that died, and it just pops on her, but the dog doesn't do anything. It just kind of disappears. So I couldn't really tell if this is like a natural protection thing that's going on with her or not. Later on, we hear about this urban legend-like monster that selects 2 different families, each with a young daughter, and he kills the families and collects the daughters. I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't want to spoil anything because I really, really enjoyed this, and I want other folks to read it. Like I said, it's a really, really cool concept of using sort of this urban legend as your baddie in this one. And if the cover's getting you, I would tell you, because even Castle down there in the comments says it's really good, and I think so too. So this is one of those ones where not normally something I would pick up. Eddie, I think so. Eddie's asking if it's a book for him. I think so. It's not something I would normally pick up, but I'm glad I did. So do yourself a favor. If it seems interesting at all, give it a shot. Give it a shot. You never know. I really enjoyed it though.
Looks like it'd be fun to cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I was actually having a discussion with Shanice about this yesterday, because I didn't know really how they were going to approach this. So I was like, if all things being equal, if you have somebody with vibranium as a suit and you go up against a regular predator, which is just shooting laser beams, and you have a suit that just absorbs that stuff and like it just amps you up, I'm like, the predator has no hope. I don't know. This seems like a very mismatched lineup. But what's so cool about this is that it sets it up as like a brother rivalry. So there's two predators. One brother was born just perfect. He's fine. And the other one was born without one of his legs. So he has a prosthetic limb. And of course, just like all good brother tales, there's always a competition for, you know, power or dad's attention, that kind of stuff. So they had describes just a big epic battle between the two of them, in which you end up with this predator with the prosthetic leg showing up here looking for vibranium because he wants to take the vibranium and replace his foot and other parts of his armor so that he can be super powerful. Maybe not against Black Panther necessarily, but just in general against his brother and within the family of predators, which is like, you know, their whole thing is like who is the most proficient hunter. So this one is actually really good, and at the end of the first issue makes you really rethink that power structure. Like, is there a way to kind of get behind the defenses of the Panthers? It's really cool. So it's way better than I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be a throwaway issue or a series that I didn't care about at all, but it is really well written. So thanks, Percy. You did awesome.
You know, it's very awesome to me. It doesn't get used nearly enough, but aliens not being perfect, aliens having some kind of, you know, handicap like that, or, you know, something that they build isn't perfection. I dig when people go that route with it because it's not shown enough.
Agree. Oh, baby.
All
I
right,
see
I'm gonna
Mojo Jojo on the cover. Is he in this issue?
Spoilers, yes.
Yay!
So I'm gonna go ahead and say this right off the bat. There are plenty of cartoons that people talk about constantly with me. They're like, you know, Doug and Rugrats and things like that. My family didn't get cable until I was out of the house. So I don't have ties to shows like that. Now I didn't read number one. I did not read number one. And like I said, while I know of the show, we didn't have cable till I was a grown, well, somewhat grown person. I've never seen an episode. I've seen clips, so I can see how it's popular. But once again, Dynamite has found a team of creators that nail not only the look of the cartoon, but the tone. This one sees Mojo Jojo invading the girl's dreams. So he's actually a big chunk of this book. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to tell you much more than that. I just want to let everybody know that Mojo Jojo's in it if you were looking for him. If you're excited to read this one, you should. You know, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I got to tell people this. I don't like this one as much as the other ones, but you got to remember the other ones they're doing. Thundercat, Space Ghost, stuff like that. I can see why this is popular. I do like this, though. I want to make that clear. I like this. I want to continue reading this. This feels like an all ages book that really has something for all ages. It really does. I think everyone can enjoy this. I'm going to go back. Excuse me. I'm going to go back and read number one. And if you're already in with this series, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I don't. So yeah, just a grand slam from Dynamite right now. They are on fire with everything they're doing. So pick this one up.
Next comes Terminator. Wahaha.
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be, I think, the book this week that everyone's going to be scrambling to find because it is so good. So good. It's what I didn't count the page count, but it feels like an extra thick book. Like there's more pages than the traditional 24. Either that or they're using much thicker paper. I know that the cover is like cardstocky. So it's really, really nice. This book is phenomenal. If someone just gave you the pitch for what it is, it would not do it justice. Because the pitch for the book is this dude on the cover has stolen technology that I think he actually developed for a company that allows him to make time stand still. But the way he's using it is for retribution. And not really for anybody that has any connection to him, as far as I can tell. This is wicked cool that he just like shows up and just puts people in their place. Feels like a crazy like James Bond, Jimmy's Bastards, whatever kind of character. He's suave and no nonsense. And I cannot wait to see what he's going to do next after this. The art is every bit as good on the inside as that cover. Is my favorite book of the week.
Feels like a Warehouse 13 episode.
And Redcoat, oh my gosh. He's just ridiculous. Okay, when we last saw him, he believed that George Washington was back to life, even though he thought he had died and got dragged down into the pit of hell long, long ago. Or at least according to his good friend, oh my gosh. Who's the guy that was like the biggest traitor during Washington's time? He went over to
Benedict Arnold?
Benedict. He's such a bad man. So Benedict's hanging out with him and, of course, a young Einstein. And they have a book that Einstein's trying to get hold of. And actually, because he can, he's smart, even as a kid. And he's trying to say, okay, if we look at this spell book, I can try to help you figure out what we can use as spells out of it to try to keep them, which is this like weird red-hatted society, from cutting our main character, Pure, with an axe one more time. Because if he does, then basically the universe kind of like, I don't know, unfolds or bent. I don't know. There's something that really bad ends America, essentially, is what's happening. This is such a crazy, crazy part of the Ghost Machine universe. I can't even explain to you why in the world we'd be rooting for this guy, except for that with, if we don't care about him, then maybe America ceases to exist. And I did find out something that I did not remember in this issue. Like, I did not know that the main character, he cannot be killed, but it only extends to the borders of America. If he leaves American soil, he becomes a big dust pile.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. Because you could just if you knew that and you were a bad guy, you could just drag him over the edge.
I almost called Benedict Arnold Benedict Cumberbatch for some reason.
Sure, why not? And Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's see if I can remember what all happened in the last issue where they left us as cliffhangers. In this universe, Pete just got outed to his family as being Spider-Man. They just found out that the suits that both he and his best good friend Green Goblin Harry have been using, they're Stark Tech are, I don't know, not everything that they thought they were. They're a little bit difficult. And it's really weird to see, you know, both people that we normally associate as bad guys being good guys. And this one, the bad guy is Kingpin, but the good guys are Doc Ock owns Aquacore, which is part of the good guy side of the group. It's just so crazy. But anyway, this is nuts. I love that we're getting to play in a universe. It makes everything feel really fresh again. Yeah, I'm happy for all of the cliffhangers, and I'm glad Hickman started this path for us. Happy. Telling Doctor Strange you said that.
All right. So old broken record Jay here, once again telling you, not a fan of the show. Just not. I don't know what it is. Like I tolerate it, but I don't actively watch it. But the comics are great. I love the comics. This one has Morty being mad at Rick because Rick said he could drive his spaceship if Morty helped him to unalive someone. And in true Morty wimpy fashion, he can't go through with it. So Rick's like, okay, then you're not driving. Kid brain, because I remember things like this is, but you told me I could. Doesn't matter that I didn't do what you asked me to do. I heard you told me I could. So Morty's really mad. And Rick finally realizes that, and he's, trying to make it up to him. Morty isn't having it. So Rick then decides, for fun, since Morty won't join him on any missions, he's going to build a controlled universe. But as always, can't control it, and now the citizens of said universe want to off him. It's a fun story. It focuses more on Rick, Summer, and Beth. Like Morty's at the beginning, and maybe Morty's at the end. You just have to read it to find that out. But if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, you will definitely enjoy this. If you're not a Rick and Morty fan, you should still try it because even I, not being a Rick and Morty fan, really enjoy this comic and the Rick and Morty comics. So give it a shot. You never know.
I don't know. It's funny what you think is going to be the most important book of the week. I can't remember what I haven't reviewed yet.
I know what it is.
Revenge! I don't know what part of the universe this is supposed to be from, but it's not ours. Turtles book. All right, so Hickman and Capullo, two amazing. As soon as they announced this book, I had so many people add it to their pull box, which is smart on them. I will tell you that the first 4 pages of this book, I was like going, maybe this isn't going to be the thing. But then it got real good. Because I'm telling you, in the first 2 pages, Wolverine shows up riding a Triceratops. And I was like, no. No. But by the end of the book, you realize this got real serious real fast. I mean, this involves some principal main universe characters from Marvel getting exploded from the inside. It's wow. So the whole premise of the book is that I don't know if Magneto was part of this meteorite that came. They call it the M event, where this meteorite comes and does a strafing run on the Earth, blows up. It destroys most of North America, South America, Canada, and creates an EM pulse that destroys everything it hasn't touched. Only things that are on the other side of the Earth, like China and India, are somewhat unscathed as far as that goes. Yeah, there's definitely a red band, although man, I can't even imagine what's in the red band because the main one is pretty bloody.
This is the red band.
Oh, is that the red band cover? Okay. Usually the inside is also extra bloody, but the one I read, which was not red band, was pretty insane. I mean, they blew people up. So this is them all scrambling, whatever's left of the good guys, and they're you'll be happy if you like old school Nick Fury because he's in this book. This is the first part of a real crazy who's left. Wolverine, clearly, but not Canada. Mm-mm. He's gonna make us wait, isn't he?
Come on, let's do it.
Yay!
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Archer and Armstrong has got to be next to Quantum and Woody, because Quantum and Woody are my top when it comes to teams, best buddy team book. You got Arum Anipada, better known as Armstrong, the Immortal. Then you got Obadiah Archer, the Wikipedia-like mind who can watch and copycat, kind of like a Taskmaster kind of feel. He basically look at it or research it and he knows it. Love this book. Love this team. Always have. There's a bit of a different power dynamic in this one though, and I might have fallen off or forgotten the series that came before this, what happened exactly, but it caught me off guard. But I dug it. It's really cool. The art style in this is really good. It feels like they've actually aged Archer up a little bit. Like he doesn't look like he does on the cover. He looks a bit older. After a kind of an awkward meetup with his adopted sister, Mary Maria, who happens to be the head of the Sisters of Perpetual Darkness.
Killer nuns.
Yes, we're nuns. Very BA nuns of darkness. There's it's awkward because they were adopted siblings in like a cultish kind of way. There's a little bit of a crush between the two of them. So it's a very awkward conversation with the two of them. Well, after this little meeting, Mary Maria grabs something and it possesses her.
No.
And at that point, she decides, along with the sisters, Archer and Armstrong, they're not going to leave here alive. It's the start to another great adventure on the road to resurgence. I've been a Valiant fan for years and years and years. If you've never read any Valiant, I'd suggest picking up a volume of any character just to get familiar and to jump in. For Archer and Armstrong, I would suggest, because I pulled it off my bookshelf, the Michelangelo Code from 2012. Very good way to get to know the characters. It's just a really dope book. Like Valiant is terrific. I am pulling for them so hard to get this universe back off the ground, because for me, out of the three really big connected universes, for me, Valiant has the best one. So do yourself a favor, try Valiant out. Just try them out.
If you want just a single issue for Archer and Armstrong, there was this, I think it was called Stalag 13, which has them in prison together. That is one that'll punch you in the gut.
Oh.
Hey, Brandon! Welcome in. We're done with our review. You can always watch it and repeat.
Yes.
We loved our books this week. It was super fun. Like I said, make sure to get together with your local comic shop and see what's going on for them. School just went back into session, so they might be doing some special things. Hopefully it gets cooler where you are soon, because here it's just ramping up. Today we have a dangerous, like literally they say it's a dangerous heat day.
It's 100 degrees, and that's not including probably what the feel like is.
Mm-hmm.
So, do yourself a favor. See, and right before I could say it, I actually remembered to do it this
He
time.
was doing it.
If you're not near your local comic shop, if you're heading out of town, visit comicshoplocator.com. That's comicshoplocator.com. Enter the zip code, not the area code, the zip code of the place you're going to be traveling to find comic shops in that area. And do yourself a favor. Look, Google is not always correct with times. Call the store first once you get that store. Call them first. Find out what their hours are. Go and visit them. Spend $5 extra, pick up a trade, spend another $5 on some back issues or something. That'd be really helpful. Do that with your local comic shop as well. The numbers are the place where you're okay. He's got his own script. But also join us right after the show. We're going to have Mint Hunter Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to have a little 30-minute break after his show. And at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, we're going to have Kicking It with Henri. So be sure you stay tuned in here.
When do we get to see Castle's review? When's that come on?
I think he said he was doing one tonight for Thursday, or I'm not sure. But I can't wait.
We just got Castle into Slack this morning, so getting the schedule worked out is getting the schedule worked out.
Welcome to the Slack family.
Yeah. I'm excited to see whatever he comes up with, though, because they've been crushing it.
Tonight will be tomorrow. Perfect. Excellent. If you're a reviewy kind of person and you want to do what Castle's doing, just let us know. All right. We're finishing early. I'm sorry. We made it through the book, so I was too excited and I talked too fast. That happens all the time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys here again next week.
Oh,
and thanks for being with us here on The Experience. Bye, y'all.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.